Ever find yourself kind of just, I don't know, hypnotized by that sound?
Yeah.
The whirring of the coffee grinder? That smell hitting you at the same time?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's where we're starting this deep dive, actually. You've sent us a bunch of stuff from RoleCatcher. It's a career platform,
Mm.
and it's all about being a coffee grinder.
Interesting.
Which, I gotta say, it seems like you're looking for more than just a caffeine fix here, right? You want to get into that whole process from bean to cup,
Yeah, yeah.
especially that grinding part,
It's a deeper dive than people realize, I think.
right?
And it's interesting you're drawn to it because the guide here, this roll catcher thing,
Right.
it really gets into how that grind, it really changes the final product.
Okay.
Like, it's not just pushing a button. There's actual skill
Because
involved.
it's not just that quick blitz in like my little whirly machine at home. They call it a career guide, not just like, here's the job.
Exactly.
What makes it more than just, the job that gets everyone else's coffee going in the morning?
Well, the guide, it actually gets into a lot of detail, which is kind of cool. So
Yeah.
the main thing for a coffee grinder is it's beyond just using the machine right.
Okay.
It's knowing how these grinders, which can be pretty complex, by the way, how they actually work.
Okay.
The mechanics of it, how to adjust them, the upkeep, all that. They're like the, I guess you could say engineers of flavor extraction.
Okay. Now, engineers of flavor extraction, that's a title.
Shuckles.
I mean, that's way more than I was picturing. Because, yeah, if it was just hitting on my little machine at home would make me a barista.
Right.
So what's in the guide? What's an example of that next level thinking a grinder needs?
Well, they talk a lot about consistency in the grind,
Okay.
which seems basic, but it's not just making the beans smaller. It's about how big those little pieces actually are, because that changes how the water pulls the flavor out when you brew it.
Oh, okay.
If you don't get that right, even with amazing beans, you can totally ruin it.
Wow, okay.
It would be bitter, all messed up.
And suddenly I'm very insecure about my own coffee. See, I don't even think about it like that. So there are different types of grinds then. It's in the guide, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's where the creative outlet part comes in, which they actually list as a pro. It's understanding, you need different grinds for different ways of brewing. Let's say you've got those Ethiopian beans, the yirgacheffe,
Okay, yeah.
known for that, delicate floral thing they've got going on.
Mm-hmm.
A good grinder knows to use a grind that's a little coarser, so you get those notes. But then takes something like a Sumatran bean. You might go finer, because it's got that earthier flavor.
Yeah. Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
So it's like this whole language of grinds based on where the beans are from, what they taste like. It's like being a coffee whisperer or something. But that's got to take a while to learn, right? Like, what's it look like if you want to do this for a living?
Yeah, no, you're not. Grinding the best stuff from day one, they actually map out a career path, this roll catcher guide. Often, you start as an assistant, learning the ropes. Helping with grinding, sure, but also cleaning, packaging. You're getting a feel for the whole world. It's like an apprenticeship, basically.
An apprenticeship in the pursuit of the perfect grind. I love
Very
it.
good.
Okay, so you've put in your time, mastered the basics. What's the next step up that coffee ladder, so to speak?
That's when you go from, apprentice to the real deal, I guess.
Ah.
You're a coffee grinder operator, full on.
Ooh, fancy.
Right. And now they trust you to handle those machines, the grinders. They can be pretty serious.
Yeah.
And it's got to be every single batch, making sure it's perfect, like we were talking about.
Okay.
So now you're not just following the recipe, you're using your judgment. What beans are they? How's the machine running? Even the air, if it's humid, all that matters.
Wow. So you're like reading the coffee's mind, the machine's aura,
Chuckles.
something like that.
The whole vibe check before you even get to brewing.
Right.
But it sounds like there's got to be some problem solving too, right?
All right. What happens when it goes wrong? Even if you're like a grind master, it can't always be perfect.
Of course not. And that's where the real skill comes in, knowing what to do. There were actually some interview questions in this roll catcher guide they get at that.
Oh.
Yeah, like how do you make sure the grind is good quality, things like that. And what if a customer, their coffee's not right because of the grind? What do you do?
Okay, those are tough, even for someone who just loves coffee.
Right. It shows you got to know your stuff.
So you can't just hit reset. That's not going to cut it.
Nope. They're big on this whole always learning thing, the guide is. A good grinder, they're always getting better, their taste buds, knowing the beans inside and out, and fixing things quick when they go wrong. It might be a tiny tweak to the grind size, or the machine needs calibrating, or maybe the beans themselves are off, you know?
It's like being a coffee detective, all those little mysteries to solve.
Exactly.
This RoleCatcher thing is really showing me how much I don't know about coffee.
It's more to it than people think.
And there's more, isn't there? They had something about a senior operator.
Yeah, they do. That's like the top of the mountain grind-wise.
Okay.
At that point, you're not just doing it, you're leading the whole thing. Maybe you've got a team of grinders working for you, setting the standards, training new people, even talking to the roasters. Like, how can we make this bean really shine?
You're like the wise coffee master now, passing down the secrets. I love it.
Right. It's a whole path that you can move up.
Yeah.
But then the guide, it mentions how tech is changing things too.
Oh, right. What's that all about? Newfangled grinders.
Big time. They've got a whole section on technology advances.
Yeah.
And it's wild, some of this stuff. They've got grinders now, super precise. They've changed the settings themselves. Like, the air's humid. Bean's a different type. Even how long you're going to brew it for, the machine adjusts.
It's like they're becoming, I don't know, coffee sommeliers or something.
Right.
Analyzing, adjusting.
Yeah.
So does that mean, like, the human grinder is out of a job? It's all robots now?
That's the big question, right?
Yeah.
And the guide here from RoleCatcher, they actually touch on it.
Okay.
It's amazing, all this tech, but you still need a person who knows what's up.
Really?
Think of it like, say, a really good chef.
Okay.
They might have a fancy oven, all the gadgets.
Right.
But they're still the ones tasting, knowing how the ingredients work together.
So it's changing, not disappearing.
That's it.
Like these high-tech grinders, they're a tool for the coffee grinder to use, not the other way around.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that.
It lets them focus on the stuff a machine can't do.
Which is?
Like matching the flavors perfectly to how you're going to brew it. Or trying something totally new with the grind, pushing the boundaries, you know.
So it's actually, like, more creative now.
For sure. Yeah. It's a really cool time to be into this.
Yeah.
Because the tech opens up all these possibilities.
Man, and to think it all starts with those beans.
It does.
It's really, like you said, more than just pushing a button.
Way more.
This whole thing has been eye-opening. So for anyone listening who maybe they're thinking about this job or they just, you know, got a new appreciation for their barista down the street, what's the thing you want them to remember most from this deep dive? The main takeaway.
Don't forget, there's serious skill in every cup.
Okay, yeah.
Passion too, and you got to work at it.
Right.
So next time you hear that grinder going, that sound we were talking about, remember, it's not just a machine.
It's an art form, like you said.
Exactly. Beans, blades, the person running it, it all matters.
A symphony of coffee.
Chuckles.
And on that note, we'll leave you with this. As all this tech gets even better, are we going to get to a point where every cup, it's perfect, but it all tastes the same? No more human touch.
Interesting.
Or will there always be a place for that artisan, that coffee grinder who gets it? Who knows that the best cup, it's more than just a science, it's a craft.
Right.
Something to think about next time you're enjoying that perfectly ground cup. Until next time, happy caffeinating, everyone.